It is the lifeblood of American college football, recruiting all across the country, including here in Tuscaloosa, Alabama today. Everybody hopeful that the young men who sign their letters of intent today become the superstars of tomorrow. Hi, everybody. Welcome to National Signing Day. I'm Eli Gold. Rashad Johnson is alongside. Our telecast brought to you today by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Alabama. And this is always a special day. We can't really overstate the fact this is how you replenish your roster year after year.
It definitely is, Eli. And I mean, we're going to have a great class this year to replenish some of the great stars that left that were starters for us. You know, on the defensive side of the ball, Deontay Thompson, Mack Wilson, just to name a few. Offensively, you know, Josh Jacobs, you know, Jonah Williams.
Damian Harris.
I mean,
on it goes.
Yeah, it just goes.
This is a special day for so many young men all across the country waiting to make that final decision, to send their papers in. Now, nobody was chasing after me to sign with them, I promise you that. But how about you? You had a kind of an unusual National Signing Day, didn't you?
I did have an unusual National Signing Day, and it was similar to yours. No one was chasing after me either. I was a walk-on here at the University of Alabama. Had some smaller schools that, wanted me to be a part of their team, but I chose to come here. I knew how special of a place, the history it had, and I wanted to be a part of it, and I'm thankful for that decision today.
And for the record, folks, he came here. He was a two-time captain, went on to play a dozen years in the National Football League, so it is sometimes a bit of an inexact science. But one thing we do know for sure, back on December the 19th, the early signing period took place. And here at the University of Alabama, 22 student athletes put their name on that dotted line, their letters of intent. So that means that today, roughly 5 players or so should be added to that list. And of course, when you talk about players, rightfully or wrongfully, everybody starts at quarterback, with all due respect to the defensive backs of the world. And Taulia Tagovailoa and Paul Tyson both committing to Alabama on December the 19th.
Yes, and 2 great quarterbacks, 2 nationally sought-after quarterbacks, but both in the state of Alabama. What I love about these guys is, Tua has Taulia Tagovailoa, does a great job with his feet. He can extend the play, has a great arm as well, and just makes great decisions all around.
He was a unanimous 4-star selection by all of the recruiting sites. Let's take a look at some of the highlights and give you an idea about what makes him so special.
Right, as you can see here, just moving around in the pocket, extending the play, and able to throw on the run. Once again, knows the coverage, single high, goes to the one-on-one matchup, and a perfect ball down the sideline. Quick decisions, that's why we like him. Once again, in the pocket, sees it, was able to come back to his 3rd, 4th option. I mean, that is a great football player right there that has, tremendous upside. We all know what his brother has done here, but to see him to follow in his footsteps and have that opportunity, it's going to be really special. We just had opportunity just to get a glimpse of the specialness that's inside of that family.
Making the move down the highway from Alabaster, Alabama to Tuscaloosa, he was coached by Mark Freeman at Thompson High School, and he has all the tools. So too does Paul Tyson, another quarterback who's got great size that he brings to the university, along with outstanding talent.
Humongous size. He's tall in the pocket, strong arm. As you can see here, deep post down the middle. He's able to make all the throws. And not only can he make all the throws, he can do it with his feet as well. And once again, as we see, he has a live arm, can throw it down the field, both 40, 60-yard passes. Now stepping up in the pocket and puts it right on the money. He puts zip on the ball when he needs to as well. Here, he's calm, collected, steps up, just showing you his arm strength. It's easy. It's like pitch and catch the deep ball. And with the receiver record that we have here and what we replenish each and every year, it's going to be great to watch this guy sling it around as well. You
know the background, the great-grandson of Paul Bear Bryant, an all-state performer here in the state of Alabama. And at 6'5", that's a big, big plus. We know so many great tall quarterbacks who can see over all the big ones inside.
Definitely. I mean, Peyton Manning, 6'5". As well as Brock Osweiler is the guy that I think about. Just a tall, long, can make the plays with his leg and has a live arm as well. So Paul Tyson is going to be a great player for us here.
The third member of our broadcast crew is Maggie Hetzel, who has spent time catching up with many of these incoming freshmen here at the University of Alabama. And she talked with Taulia Tagovailoa about all the things that drew him to the University of Alabama.
The kind of talent surrounding Alabama, being around the program, what attracted specifically you to Alabama?
Just the family atmosphere and, like you said, the talent and all these coaches. I mean, you know, hard work is not a question when you come to Alabama, and you know, I want to be better in every aspect. You know, not only on the field but off the field as well.
Getting better in every aspect. Who would you say you model your game after, or kind of look up to as a player, maybe who played at Alabama or is now in the NFL?
I like Patrick Mahomes, or you know, like Tom Brady, because he wins a lot of Super Bowls. So
he did just win that Super Bowl.
Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady, not a bad combo right there. Huh?
Not bad at all. And he does exactly what those guys do. Patrick Mahomes can make plays with his feet, extend it, but then has the arm to make the throws as well. And then Tom Brady, a totally different type of quarterback who makes the smart decisions, understands defense, and gets the ball out of his hands fast. Taulia Tagovailoa can do both of those things. So I think that's a great comparison.
You know, the other thing, too, for Paul Tyson, one thing I like that he pointed out is going someplace that he knew people, and obviously the family background, but he's also coming to the university with Pierce Quick, an offensive lineman who is a high school teammate of his, and he talked about that fact with Maggie.
One of your teammates, Pierce Quick, he was one of your offensive linemen at high school with you. Now you guys are roommates and playing alongside in college. What does that relationship mean to you?
Right, he's like a brother to me. I mean, we've been together since high school, and now on to college and rooming with me. I mean, it's just got a definitely good connection with him.
Getting the taste of the lifestyle and kind of what your day-to-day life will look like, the strength and conditioning program and everything, you know, given to you guys. What has been kind of your favorite aspect so far, and what have you learned?
Really just how much they're pushing us. I mean, they're not going to give us any slack. They want us to be the best we can be, and that's what I want for sure. And it's been a lot of work so far, but definitely getting used to it, and the transition's been well.
Thanks so much.
No doubt.
So both of those quarterbacks having signed back in December, the early signing period, and they are going to be a major addition to this Crimson Tide football team. But it doesn't matter what side of the ball you're on. It's in the trenches where oftentimes games are won and lost. And we'll check the offensive line a little bit later on. But, Rashad, the defensive line for the Crimson Tide, as far as newcomers are concerned, a young man by the name of Antonio Alfano, who has really gotten folks talking here between the early signing day and today.
Yes, and what a terrific player he is. And he's going to have a opportunity early on to step in, losing great players like Isaiah Buggs, Quinnen Williams taking a chance. But here he is off the edge. He shows you his quickness and ability to finish on the ball. Once again, stand-up player, shows his long arms, nice hands, and again, finishes on the ball and finish the play. He shows you his versatility here. He's now lined up inside, and athletic ability, beats the chop block and doesn't go down. Change of direction, makes tackles in the backfield. This guy is all over the place, and he's disruptive. That's exactly what we like. That's exactly what we need. Reminds me of a Quinnen Williams as disruptive as he is up front.
And that, of course, is a big mention right there. We all know the kind of year that Quinnen Williams has. Now, when you talk about defensive linemen, Rashad, and we'll let you stay over there as we look at some additional highlights, let's bring up DJ Dale and Braylon Ingraham. These are two names, again, that may or may not be household names to a number of our viewers, but they're going to be.
Yes, DJ Dale, as you just saw there, the quickness off the ball. Once again, beats a double team and gets into the backfield. Line up at nose guard, sheds a block, and is just determined to get to the quarterback. He's just showing his athletic ability, able to extend with his hands and play with his hands. You like to see that from a defensive lineman, not just play with his pads, but move guys with his hands and be able to finish on the quarterback. And both of these guys have done a terrific job of that.
And how about Ingraham? Again, a guy who's got great abilities, and he's got size, and that's a wonderful combination, plus quickness.
He has it all. But what I love the most about him is his IQ. Here he is lined up in the nose guard position, able to push through, not quit on the play. That's what you want to see. But the closing speed right there is what jumps off the film at you. And once again, how fast he closes on the quarterback. These guys are unable to be blocked inside, and you see they're moving around inside, outside. They can play multiple positions. So now we have 3 versatile guys that we're going to be able to move around and work them together. So it's a great addition to what we lost in this season.
And we all know about the talent-rich elements of the state of Florida. And here's a guy, Ingraham, who has been consistently one of the top players in the Sunshine State. Bama recruited him, Auburn recruited him, Oklahoma, Oregon, everywhere across the country. They wanted him, but he's going to be wearing crimson and white. From Amite High School, they call him Ishmael Sopsher. One of the top defensive linemen, a consensus 4-star prospect. Everybody wanted him, including LSU, Texas A&M, and 17 other schools. But the big guy's coming to Tuscaloosa.
And what a big pickup it is for us to steal him out of the state of Louisiana. This guy is explosive. He lives in offensive backfields, as you can see here, able to use the swim move. Not only is he a big guy, but he shows his quickness and elusiveness as well. And there, it just shows you his power. This guy is a playmaker. Like I said, living in the backfield. Takes on the player and just runs him all the way back to the quarterback. And once again, finishing on the play. He's moving all over the field. He's played some nose tackle. He plays some defensive end. You can't block him. You can't stop him. And what a great, tool he's going to be to this new defensive line that we're going to have.
All-State on each of his 4 years of varsity football in Amite, and his paperwork is in, a new signee for the Alabama Crimson Tide. This is just in, Byron Young. Maybe not a surprise. Everybody expected he'd be coming to Tuscaloosa, an elite defensive lineman who was pulled out of the state of Mississippi. They all wanted him. Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Clemson wanted him, Florida, LSU, but the Tide got him.
Yes, and for him to cross the state lines, we welcome him here in Tuscaloosa. This kid is really explosive. He can play multiple positions, but he's going to be more of a D tackle for us. And as you can watch him up front, he's violent with his hands, getting rid of offensive linemen. That's what you love to see from a defensive player. Not just explosive, but able to use his elusiveness and his hands to be able to make the plays. As you can see him here, just so disruptive on each and every play.
Now listen to these numbers as you watch his highlights. As a senior, 125 tackles, 29.5 tackles for loss, 17.5 sacks. That was in 15 games of action as a senior, and every play he's just dominating like nothing, like nobody's business.
Yes, and like I said earlier, he's just getting him in the backfield, using his hands to get off the blocks, and just showing his IQ to understand the blocking schemes as well. Right there, it was a counter play. He knew that the guard was blocking back and was able to cross face and just ultimately destroy the play. We're lucky to have this kid. He's going to be a great one for us.
The paperwork came in just a bit ago. Byron Young joining the Crimson Tide. But going back to the first gentleman we highlighted, Antonio Alfano, Meggie Hetzel caught up with him, and they talked about how much work he is already putting in, getting set for his first year here in Tuscaloosa.
With the amazing things you have to your disposal here, the strength and conditioning programs, the nutrition, what has kind of been your favorite thing so far?
The 24/7 access to the facility, it's been pretty cool. Coming here, being able to work out 2 in the morning if you want to, hop in the hot tub, the cold tub, maybe grab a protein shake real quick on your way out. I've been here for a month and I've already gained 17 pounds since I've been here, just from working out and eating and all that stuff. So
gaining the weight and trying to, really focus on what's ahead of you, who would you say that you model your game after, and being a D lineman with the talent that's come out of Alabama, who is that guy for you?
That's a hard question. He didn't really play D-line, but I kind of like to pass rush. I like to look up to him for the pass rush. So either Lawrence Taylor or Derek Thomas. Derek Thomas came out of Alabama and he was 7 sacks in one game, all that for the Chiefs and stuff. So it's kind of cool to look up to him.
Well, of course, LT is one of the all-time greats. Derek Thomas, a Bama guy, so a nice combination right there.
Yeah, these guys are picking the perfect people to model the game after, and Antonio Alfano does a great job of doing just that, as you saw on the monitor, a pass rusher that finishes on the ball and disrupts and causes sacks. I mean, he's a great playmaker.
And folks, by the way, if you want to see the extended versions of all of these interviews that you're seeing snippets of today, go to RollTide.com. They'll all be there for you, so you can really study up on the new faces coming in to the University of Alabama. But we're just getting going on this National Signing Day. Rashad and I will be right back with a whole lot more on today's show, being brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Alabama.
We all aspire to harness our power and change the world. Only a few of us ever do. The University of Alabama, where legends are made.
Welcome back. Our National Signing Day coverage here in 2019, brought to you by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Alabama. And I was wondering why you left the studio to go see the producer, Rashad. You slipped him a piece of videotape, one of the many, many highlights in your career here at the University of Alabama. You feasted on the LSU Tigers. You did a couple of times.
Yes, I did. I mean, that was a terrific night, and that was the night the SEC West came back to where it's rightful home.
Exactly, here in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, all because of that guy. And, of course, he was one of the best defensive backs around. This year, though, Alabama loses Deontay Thompson. Savion Smith is gone. DJ Lewis is gone. But fear not. Yes, those guys were talented, but Marcus Banks, Jordan Battle, a name you'll be hearing a lot about. Jeffrey Carter is here, DeMarco Helms, Brandon Turnage, and many, many more potentially today. Rashad Johnson, it's a good group of DBs, but that's a tough position to have to learn the transition, I would assume, from high school to college.
It definitely is, and no tougher place to do that at than here at the University of Alabama. Coach Saban is hands-on with that group, as well as Carl Scott, who does a great job as well in the secondary. They're going to be challenged each and every week to be able to adapt, to be able to play press man, to be physical. And the last thing is to be able to play the ball down the field. And you're going to see that here on the film with these guys. They're all going to be explosive off the edge, able to block a punt here, be able to change the game in that factor. It shows you that the game matters to them. Playing off technique. Beats the blocker, comes up, and he's very physical. This is Speedy Banks here, press man. Sheds the blocker again, and you like that finish there. He rolls out of his hips on contact. Small guy, 6'1", 170. He's going to bulk up in the weight room, but he already shows you his physicality early on. So that's what you love about a guy like this, that he can play man, he's physical at the point of attack, and as well can play the ball. So we're looking forward to having Speedy here with the Crimson Tide this season.
Then you've got Jordan Battle as we take a look at his name and numbers, joining the Tide from St. Thomas Aquinas High School in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And he, as opposed to Banks, who was a cornerback, this guy's a safety.
And what I love me is good safety. And this guy right here can play some football. He's physical at the point of attack. As you can see in the deep half right here, reading the quarterback eyes and punishes the receiver, gets the ball out. That's what you love to see. He's rangy. Once again, down here at the bottom, he's reading the ball in the air. Not only it's a run play, I'm sorry, but you see the finish here. Watch his catch-up speed. The closing speed is what you like here as a defensive back. He's able to close the ground, and now playing some man-to-man coverage. Plays over the top, shows you his instincts, and now shows you his ball skills and his returnability. This is what you really enjoy. You've seen guys like Eddie Jackson, myself, Landon Collins catch these interceptions and take them to the house. And we're looking forward to Jordan Battle doing the same. Instincts, times up the blitz perfect. And lays the hit on the quarterback.
How much of that is self-taught and how much of that is God-given ability?
What you just saw there was God-given ability. Jordan Battle has so much upside. I think, you know, once he gets here, opportunity to get into the system, to gain a greater IQ of football here under Coach Saban and Carl Scott is going to be a terrific ride for him as well.
Now, we saw Battle coming from the state of Florida, and as we all know, that's a very, very talent-rich state, but so too is the state of Texas, and that's where we go next to take a look at Jeffrey Carter, who is another outstanding guy, Scooby as they call him.
Yes, Scooby Carter here, 6'1", 182. We love a lot of things about this guy. He can change direction. He can play man-to-man, as you can see. Watch him off here. Plays the ball. Freakish interception, one hand, athletic. He's playing off here. Watch him read the play, and then he reacts. That closing speed, and then able to punish the receiver on the play. You love that. Playing a little offense here. He's showing off, showing you his speed. Great adjust to the ball down the field, and then simply runs away from the guy. This guy here, I mean, has so much upside as well. Playing off, showing you he can read the coverage. As you can see, a scissors route, but stays in position and then catches the ball over his shoulder. That is so difficult to do. So many people would take that as just an easy thing, but not only does he intercept it, he has the knowledge of let's go and get extra. And that's what I love about him. He's a guy that just loves the game.
Now, we all know, again, how good high school ball is in the state of Texas, so you get somebody out of Mansfield who picks Alabama. That's a big-time plus right there. Another guy who picked Alabama, and we're happy to say he picked the Tide over Clemson, among many other schools, is DeMarco Hellams. He is a young man who comes from DeMatha High School in the Baltimore area. That's technically in Hyattsville, Maryland. A lot of folks know DeMatha, having turned out so many outstanding athletes over the year. This guy was great on both sides of the ball. Does that help you as a DB?
It definitely does, because it gives you that extra skill set of being able to play the ball. This is the simple play here, just a screen route, but we would get opportunity to watch his ability to change direction, and not only change direction, run away from defenders. This is a special play where you can see someone take a 1-yard route and go 70 yards. That shows you he has special talent. Once again, lined up at receiver. Not afraid to go across the middle, and his physical capabilities to finish the play. Here we go at safety. Now this is what I like. The guy comes out, he's tracking the ball, overruns his player, and goes in and makes the hit. He just lets you know he's a step ahead of the game when it comes to the guys he's playing with. Down here at the bottom, jumps up, great hands, great finish. And as a DB, playing man-to-man here. Closing speed. Want to see him close on this ball when it's in the air. Get both feet down. This guy right here is going to be really special. As we saw, 6'1", 213 already, and plays both sides of the ball, like you said, Eli, is a special talent to have on the back end.
Yeah, it ends up with some dozen interceptions. 3 of them were pick sixes, so the guy can do it all. And then finally, in our defensive back list, Brandon Turnage, one of the top players in the state of Mississippi. Ole Miss wanted him, Mississippi State, Florida, Georgia, Auburn, but he picks the Alabama Crimson Tide.
Here he is here, playing cornerback. Does a great job going up and making a play, playing off here, showing his back pedal. He's a special player because he grades out as a corner, but he can also play some safety as well. So, I mean, a great player from the state of Mississippi, one of the top prospects in the state of Mississippi, crossing the lines to come to be a part of the Crimson Tide. And we're happy to have him because he's a versatile player, like I said. And Coach Saban is going to find a special place for him with all the tools that he has.
How likely is it that somebody like he or any of the guys we've talked about lean on somebody like you? I know assistant coaches have their responsibilities. You're in player relations, player development, and so on. How much can you walk in and say, hey, let me make a suggestion to you?
I mean, you do that all the time. These guys are open to listening to you because of one thing. You've experienced it. You've been able to walk in the shoes that they're walking in right now. And I take pride in that, as well as a lot of the guys that are part of the staff now, and making sure these guys make the right decisions off the field as well as on the field. But being able to impact them on the field and give them little things that made our game better. That a coach sometimes, he can give it to them, but sometimes we can spell it a little bit different. So I think it's great to have that different feel and those guys that can relate to these young guys when they come in. So we're all just playing a part to a bigger puzzle that we're all putting together here, and we're excited, to have these young guys.
I like the way you put it. All right, folks, let me throw a name at you. Let me get your first reaction. Josh Jacobs. Well, obviously a great ball player, but a very late addition in the recruiting cycle when it was time for him to sign out of high school. And that brings me to John Metchie, one of the top wide receivers coming to the Crimson Tide. He, too, kind of flew under the radar when it was a late addition to the recruiting cycle back in December.
Yes, he was. Like you said, a late addition, but what a great addition. I mean, this guy's getting some Jalen Waddle comparisons. He can play offense and defense. We're excited to have him. As you can see him here, just running the ball, showing you his capabilities to run away from the defense. The guys are going to be out of the picture if he keeps running any further. Here's just showing his ability to catch the ball, make a guy miss, and then finish the play. Playing some receiver down here at the bottom. Play the ball down the field. That's something you got to be able to do at the receiver position and then finish the play. As you can see, he's running away from defenders on film, and you got to love that as a coach. Running the fade ball in between traffic, goes up between two guys at the highest point to make the play. John Metchie, great addition, versatile player, offense, defense, but he's definitely going to be playing some offense for us.
And if you're sitting at home saying, all right, guys, how come he was underneath the radar? That young man was born in Taiwan, moved to Ghana, then moved to Canada, eventually came to the States, changed schools a couple of times, and then ended up in Hightstown, New Jersey at the Petty School. So that's why he was under the radar before eventually being added to just about everybody's list. Another guy who is on everybody's list has the last name of Billingsley. Jaleel is the first name. He is a tight end from Phillips Academy in Chicago, Illinois, and one of the most sought-after players going into the early signing period back in December.
Yes, he was. Multi-sport athlete who played basketball as well. But what a big loss in Irv Smith, and now having a guy that can not maybe come in as a freshman, but be able to maybe take some reps and go up and make plays just like that and finish it with his ability, to run routes, and not only run routes, but be able to make guys miss. I mean, you don't see typically a tight end be able to move the way that this guy's moving down the field here, running away from players, hurdling guys, and still just continuing to push forward. Play here, screen pass, 0-yard pass, and he takes it how many yards? We're looking at him making guys miss, physical at the point, not trying to go down. That's what you love to see. And this next play here, I think is my favorite. It's actually the next one, but this is a great play as well. Goes up over the top of the guy and catches it.
You love those 6'4" guys.
Yes, you can just throw it up and let them, just go and make the play. But this play here makes the guy miss, and on the sideline, watch the cutback right there. Irv Smith type, I mean, just the movements and being able to finish the play down the field. What a great addition at the tight end spot, from Chicago, Illinois. We're excited to have this
And,
kid.
of course, with Irv gone after this season just completed, that is going to be one of the big names. And he, too, was recruited by everybody. I'm just looking at my list here. He was recruited by Alabama, of course, Auburn, Florida, LSU, Michigan, Ohio State, and on down the line. Wow. So that's a pretty good talent right there. Well, somebody's always running for something in Washington, D.C. This guy's running for yardage, and he's going to be doing it wearing crimson and white. The paperwork is in for Keelan Robinson, a running back from Washington, D.C.'s St. John's High School, a talented four-star recruit.
Yes, he is. The home run threat that you love to have with his size, 5'9", 184. He isn't a big guy, but he's able to do everything you need him to do out of the backfield. You see here, the scat guy. As you saw, that burst seemed like it took him half a second to get, from 0 to 100, and now running away from everybody on the defensive side of the ball. He is a special talent out of the D.C. area. I think he's a switch hitter for us. You got the guys like Najee Harris, carrying the ball. You got, B-Rob, Brian Robertson, bigger backs that can punish you. Now we have a guy, here in Keelan Robinson, who is just shifty and can catch it out of the backfield, but not to mistake him that he's not physical. As you saw there, take on a hit and able to keep his balance and also finish the play down the field. I mean, we're lucky to get him, excited to have him with this catchability out of the backfield. You know, Darren Sproles-esque there. I mean, so we love those options to be able to get him matched up against a linebacker, but also, you know, just the option to be able to hand it off to him as well and know that he can handle that. He does a great job.
Probably didn't hurt. He went to the same high school as Terrell Lewis, so he is now a member of the Tide. The paperwork is in for Keelan Robinson. And the final name in this segment of our show, first name is Trey. And he's a pretty good one. Sanders is a man that everybody was looking at and hoping that the Crimson Tide will be able to sign.
Yes, I mean, a terrific running back down at IMG College in Florida.
Right.
I mean, this guy carries the ball and he runs with passion. As you can see here, let's watch the first run. Screen pass. As you can look at him shifty, able to make guys miss and then finish the play. You love to see guys that are shifty and able to make a play when there is no play. Like a Barry Sanders type there on the run. Now, a guy has him tackled in the backfield. No one can bring him down. He can change direction. That's one thing you love about him. But you love his size as well and his vision. Once again, hit in the backfield. Just one guy doesn't bring this guy down. I mean, it's just the year after year, we continue to build those stable of running backs. A guy that, you know, hope can come in and help us, but doesn't have to come right in and help us because we have some great guys at that position already. So he can, you know, take an opportunity to grow. But for the years that we have him here, he's going to be a special talent down the road for sure.
He really is. And that's one thing Nick Saban never afraid to do. Go out, find these guys, sign them. And that, of course, is the depth that has done the Tide so very, very well over the last number of years. But let's go back to that travel log of a life that we were talking about for John Mechie a short while ago. He sat down and spoke with Meggie Hetzel about that circuitous route of his that got him to Tuscaloosa.
You actually were born in Taiwan, moved to Ghana, and then was in Canada until high school. How did you really get into football and end up at Alabama?
I kind of learned about football in Canada. I have 3 older brothers, so I never really played much at first. I kind of just watched them. I watched them for a long time. That's kind of how I got into it.
And getting into it, was there a certain player that you kind of modeled your game after, maybe from Alabama or who now plays in the NFL?
A player from Alabama I kind of watched a lot was Amari Cooper. I just like the way he plays. Him, Julio, basically just the main receivers from Alabama. Seeing
the talent of these receivers that come from Alabama, what has excited you about Alabama and what made you pick to come to Alabama?
I kind of wanted to go to the best program. I wanted to go where everyone thought football was best. And at the time it was Alabama, so I kind of want to be part of that.
And I'll tell you, there's nothing like seeing the big names on TV on a Sunday or in the postseason. Yeah. What an advertisement it is for Crimson Tide football.
Yes, it definitely is. And I mean, I love what John Mechie said there at the end. He said, I wanted to be a part of the best. I mean, that sounds like a guy that's not afraid to be challenged, not afraid to, you know, get the best out of himself. So for a guy to make that decision, you know, knowing that the depth that we have at receiver, so it's a chance he may not come in and play early, but says, I want to be a part of the best. I want to be challenged. And that's what this place is all about. He's going to fit in really well just by that statement right there.
No doubt about it. He mentioned 2 of the great wide receivers, so many more populating the list. And I'll tell you, if you're not worrying about football, Lake Tuscaloosa is a great place to be. It's all here at the University of Alabama. We'll be right back.
It's about the energy of a packed stadium, the anticipation at the bottom of the ninth.
Base hit, Alabama wins.
The heroic diving catches and the big fly blasted into the night sky. It's about the moment, in person and among fans. Because live only happens once. Where will you be?
National Signing Day 2019 presented by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Alabama, and another interception by Rashad Johnson against LSU in the end zone, which eventually sets up a John Parker Wilson touchdown.
That it does. Overtime here. They ran that play so many times, and one thing about Coach Saban, he we adjust on the sideline, we talk about it, and then able to come out and make that play in that moment was special. I enjoyed every minute of it. To silence Death Valley, no better feeling.
Just one of the many reasons we keep my partner around here. He does a great job on the air and certainly on the field, and a great NFL career for you. I know we've talked about it in the past, but you took to that so very easily and stuck around, what, a decade or so. Not everybody does that.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely a long journey. It was a fun journey, but it was just day in and day out. It was everything I learned here at Alabama. Coach Saban came in and implemented the process. Understanding the daily choices that you make are going to lead, you to a destination. So make the choices, towards the destination in life that you want to be. And NFL is something I wanted to do. I wanted to be a great leader, a great person in the community, and that's the choices I try and make each and every day. And now, trying to be a great father and a great husband.
Let me throw some numbers at you, not about Rashad this time, but about somebody else. Listen to this. The guy made 27 of 31 career field goals. He never missed an extra point at Hoover High School. He tried 109 of them. He was good on all 109. He had 188 kickoffs for the Hoover Bucks. 186 of them, all but 2, went for touchbacks. Will Reichard is coming to Alabama.
Yes, thank you, God. This guy is a great kicker. Like you said, you just heard the numbers. And we're just, looking forward to having him on campus, being able to do what he does here. He's booming it out of the back of the end zone. Eli just gave you the numbers. 186 of 188 kickoffs are all touchbacks. I mean, that's a win for your defense when you know that the offense has to travel 80 yards to score on you. That's a tough assignment to do, on a Pete Golding defense this year.
And as you saw right there, not only is he a place kicker, but boom, he's the #2 punter in America, according to many of the recruiting services.
And he's doing a great job right here playing some golf, putting it right on the green where you want it, right by the goal line. And this guy, like I said, he's a special talent. He's not only a kicker, like you said, but a punter as well. So he can dual roll it for us. And we're excited to have him, and hopefully we can implement him early on.
The man is a great kicker. Looking forward to seeing him on the field come this fall here at the University of Alabama. Now let's move on to the linebacking crew. It's pronounced Eboigbe. Eboigbe. Pronounce it any way you want. He's going to be pronounced as one of the top linebackers in America before all is said and done.
Exactly right, Eli. This guy is out of the state of Georgia. What a great, job by us going in and getting him from the state of Georgia. Explosive, as you can see there, causing disruption in the backfield. Jadeveon Clowney is what I see here when this guy's coming off the ball at DN. Once again, just so explosive. Nobody can get a hand on him. He's got instincts because he's getting off before the ball is really even snapped. So you're getting a chance to see, his instincts come into play early on. So instincts plus technique and the daily assignments and growth that he's going to get here. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch as well.
And, he was selected as one of the top players at all positions, not just his spot. And when, we know about Georgia, they've got tons of high school talent. When you get in the top 5 of anybody at any position, that's pretty darn good.
That's dang good. I mean, like you said, he's the top in several positions. And you saw his athleticism there, his instincts, athleticism, and just overall love of the game.
Now, another player who is very, very versatile and is coming to the university from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, one that got away from Coach O, Christian Harris, and I'm looking forward to seeing him. I've seen him only on these videos. I haven't seen him much otherwise, but boy, he's something to see.
This is enough to watch. I mean, this guy here is, 6'2", 239. Remember that as you're watching the film here. He's playing offense, and, right now he's playing safety. Goes up and makes the play. Interception, high points the ball. Now watch him go to work. 6'2", 239. I mean, this is a special talent. He's playing safety here. Will probably end up being a will linebacker for us. But, I mean, he's just showing you his athleticism to go up and make that play in long speed to finish it. Once again here, defensive side of the ball, go up and make the play.
Watch him right here. A super job. Got great position and stepped in for another pick. And, it's not often that you see a player's bio say offense, defense, and special teams, but he does, and he's a really good special teams contributor.
That's great to have. I mean, because one thing he's going to do here, he's going to play special teams. We all know that. We've seen guys, you know, like Reuben Foster turn into the great player that he was,
Sure.
but it all started from special teams. So to see that we have a guy that loves it already, I can't wait to give him an opportunity to get on the field and watch him go to work.
And of course, LSU wanted him, Texas A&M, Arkansas, just about everybody in the SEC and most anyone east of the Mississippi. But he's coming to the University of Alabama. But he won't be the only Harris on the roster. A new guy by the name of Kevin Harris II is coming in from Loganville, Georgia, and he is an outstanding defensive end. And look at the height and weight numbers. I love that.
Yes, same here. A great initial first step, as you saw there, and then the finish on the play. Watch him. His first step is what's winning. He extends his arm and power, speed to power there to finish on the quarterback. Shows you he can stand up, as you saw his feet move there and his quickness to bend the corner and come around and finish on the sack. Now he puts his hands in the ground. If you don't block him, he's going to make the play. So I would suggest you do that. And here on the next play, he's got a guy that doesn't finish, beats two players, and now runs the quarterback down. Just showing you his athleticism, showing you know just the upside that he has, you know, as a player. His length, 6'4", 228. If he continues to play with those long arms and those quick feet, he's going to make a lot of plays in that crimson and white.
Yeah, great lateral speed right there. Number 8 defensive end, number 10 player overall coming out of the state of Georgia. But we're just getting going. We're going to check in with St. Francis right now and go to Shane Lee, a linebacker from Baltimore, Maryland, a 4-star prospect who picked Bama over Clemson, LSU, Michigan, Notre Dame, Ohio State. You know what I'm saying. Everybody wanted him, and Bama got him.
Yes, and man, will this guy hit you. He is a middle linebacker, as you see here, downhill. Finish the play. You love to watch a linebacker that can fill the gaps and take on blocks like he's doing. Doesn't cross over. Once again, stands the guy up in the hole and pushes him back. Everything's forward for him. Run shows you his quickness here and his speed to finish on the ball, sideline to sideline. He's a big guy, 6 foot, 243, middle linebacker. I mean, smash mouth type guy. This guy has an opportunity to come in and play early for us. So we're looking forward to, you know, seeing what he has early on. As you saw there, it's definitely pretty special.
And next is going to be a guy who everybody considers a king. Why? Because that's his first name. His last name, well, it doesn't sound the way it necessarily looks. The W is silent. It is Matuka. King Mekuta. King Mekuta. Even I can't pronounce it. King Mekuta is the way it's pronounced. West Point, Georgia, Troup County High School.
Another prospect from Georgia, you know, that we were able to get here at Alabama. Watch him here. Quick off the ball, able to run and finish all the way on the other hash. You love to see a defensive player that can run down quarterbacks, run down skilled players the way that this guy is doing here. Able to change directions. Now he's standing up. One play with his hand in the ground, another play standing up. It shows you he can play the zone read and then shuffle back in and be able to make the play on the quarterback, which is so huge in the offense that we see nowadays. Every team that you play runs the mesh and then tries the quarterback, keep it up the middle, and they're trying to read that defensive end. And King shows you right there, he's the king at playing it.
So again, another of the 22 student athletes who signed back in December on the early signing day. And by the way, to combine all of the guys who signed in December and those who signed today, remember Coach Saban's press conference is coming up at 4 o'clock this afternoon. And you can see it on RollTide.com, so make sure you tuned in as the latest off recruiting day will be coming your way. There's a place you can often find Rashad Johnson. But honestly, don't look for me there. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. That's why everyone comes to Tuscaloosa and the university. They want to be part of the Walk of Champions. Win a title, your name and the team roster is there. Championship statues of title-winning coaches, all part of what makes the University of Alabama so very special. Welcome back in, everyone. Glad you're with us. I'm Eli Gold. Having moved over there is my partner, Rashad Johnson, normally sitting right next to me here, but you know, we've shown so many of his interceptions before. He started wandering over there to the big screen. He was getting ready to illustrate another interception of his. He said, you know, I had 3 that day against LSU, but we're not showing the 3rd interception, but a great, it was still a great effort for you.
Yeah,
we saw 2, and 1 will stay in everybody's imagination. Let's talk now about the offensive line.
Yes.
Some guys call them the big uglies. They call them the trenches. Whatever you want, you got to be able to protect the Tua and the Taulia Tagovailoas. You got to be able to protect the Paul Tysons. You got to be able to protect the Mac Jones and so on. And offensive line is very, very important. Tanner Bowles is the first man we're going to highlight today.
Yes, like you said, the offensive line is so important. The heart of the team. As you can see here, he finishes on the play, playing left tackle. Very physical, very athletic, comes off low, driving the guys back. That's what you like to see. A guy that can be low when he comes off the ball, climbs to the second level. Not only does he climb, but he finishes the guy down the field. I mean, a physical player, great feet, good hips, and able to play left tackle is something that's very special tool to have. So a guy like Tanner Bowles is going to be a great addition to our offensive line, to the heartbeat of the whole team, because everything that they do has to be run through the offensive line. You have to protect to be able to pass the ball. You have to be able to block to be able to run the ball.
Next is Darian Dalcourt, who chose Bama over Clemson, Maryland, Michigan, Michigan State, Ohio State. You know what the linemen are like up there in the Big Ten and so on. They wanted him, and Bama got him.
Yeah, I mean, those Big Ten linemen are big guys, as you can see here, 6'3", 290, and they can maul you and they can block you, and that's exactly what Darian Dalcourt does here. You can watch him here playing a little bit of guard, comes off, smashes the guy, easy. Next play, moves him out of tackle, playing right tackle here. Goes up to the second level. 3 guys on 1, you're going to finish that, but not only that, he comes back and finishes because the play isn't over. You like to see that. Right tackle. Goes down to physicality. He's low, and not only when he at the point of attack, he keeps his feet driving. That's what you like to see from the offensive line position. Here, feet still moving, puts him in good position, and he's still driving 7, 8, 9 yards down the field. That's what you see, and that's what we're used to seeing, you know, from the Jonah Williams, the Alex Leatherwoods. I mean, Darian Dalcourt is going to fit right in with the big uglies up front.
And, of course, for Alabama this year, losing Jonah Williams and Lester Cotton and Ross Piercebaker, Joshua Casher, and so on, there is room for new offensive linemen to try and make their name very, very quickly and very early.
Yes, there is definitely room. And I mean, it was a great group of guys you named there. This guy's going to be one of them that's going to step in and get that opportunity, you know, coming this spring. So I'm looking forward to watching, see what he does, you know, here at the State of Alabama in the crimson and white.
Amari Kite comes to Alabama from Thompson High School. He was a teammate of Taulia Tagovailoa and is ranked number 8 offensive tackle overall, number 5 in the state of Alabama.
Yes, a big guy, 6'7", 315. I mean, he did a great job, you know, protecting Paul Tyson all year. And now here he is at left tackle, pass pro. As you see, easy for him, explosion. That's what you like to see, lower body explosion. He's driving the guys down the field and finishing 8, 9, 10 yards down the field. Now he shows you his ability to climb up to the second level. You like to see a big guy that can move, have great feet like that. His upside is so high. Once again, he's just finishing guys, not only because of his size, because of athleticism as well. Because you can be that big, and littler guys can get around you and make you miss. But you love to see that he's able to climb up and still get his hands on those littler defenders and still finish them the way that he's supposed to at that size.
Now, if you think Amari Kite is a big fella, check out the next numbers here for Evan Neal. He comes to Bama from IMG Academy down in Bradenton, Florida. Wait for the reveal.
Boom.
6'8", 360. Takes a full tank of gas to drive around him, but he's in magnificent shape. And he's strong, he's sturdy, great feet, gets the job done.
He does. Like you said, 6'8", 360. You wouldn't think a guy this big could move and have the mobility and the bend that he has. Look at him here. He's able to get down on the defender and then turn him out of position. That defender had him beat. A smaller guy, quicker guy. He's still able to get in position here. He's low. He's finishing on the play every time. You love to see what you're seeing here from this guy. Big guy, just a mauler. He can, you know, has great feet and great balance. Once again, low, driving a guy up the field, 8, 9, 10 yards down the field. We're continuing to see, you know, these offensive linemen not only just at the point of attack, but continue to punish the defender on the way down the field. You love to see that. You love to see that intensity and just, you know, that dog and grit. That's a position you got to have that in. You got to have a no mercy mentality. And these guys, these last 3 guys we just saw are doing a great job of that.
And finally, Pierce Quick is going to be the next man we highlight for you. One of the top-rated offensive linemen in America. USA Today picked him on their all-country team as a junior, let alone as a senior. And he, too, is coming to Alabama from Hewitt-Trussville High School.
Yes, Pierce Quick. And as you can see here on film, 6'5", 280. Can't wait to watch him play. Watch him show you what he can do here. I want you guys to check these highlights out. Pierce Quick is quick on his feet. We missed him there on that play, but here we are. Tackle, right tackle here. Setting, pass setting, able to run the defender around the hoop. You like to see that there. Showing you his good feet. Here, point of attack, getting himself in position and tries to be violent at the finish. Violent at the finish. There, pancake block. That means the guy is at his size is playing low enough to get underneath him. And once again, still getting in great position and very tough and finishing down the field. As we saw here, you know, from Pierce Quick, Evan Neal, all these guys up front, they doing a great job of not only just at the point of attack, but being able to finish down the field and also play up at the second level. So it shows you they have great bend and good feet and initial quickness as an old lineman. And that's what you love to see, and that's what we love to have, you know, here with the Crimson Tide.
And for Pierce Quick, one of the advantages of his situation, he was able to come in as an early enrollee and was here at the university in time for bowl season or postseason practice. And he talked about that with Meggie Hetzel.
Jumping on campus, you were here for the bowl practices and kind of got to see the life of an Alabama football player during the postseason. What was that like?
That was a blast. Coming for the bowl practices was so much fun, getting to do scout team and go against all those guys and just like watch how they do it and stuff, and getting to do practices before spring ball. You know, it was like basically an extra spring ball with how many practices we got, so that was a lot of fun.
Who would be somebody that you would model your game after? Maybe someone who did play here at Alabama or somebody now in the NFL. Who would you say yourself reminds you of?
I really liked how Jonah Williams played. You know, I know he just graduated, but watching him play was somebody that like I would watch, and I was like, I want to be like that guy. Like watching how he does all his stuff, that's a guy that I'd like to be like.
Whole lot worse guys to model yourself after than Jonah Williams.
Man, a great guy to pick, you know, as a role model and, you know, as someone to model your game after. Jonah was, you know, the epitome of Alabama football. He did everything right on the field, off the field, a physical player, a leader. He led by example. Didn't hear him say much. He's going to be, you know, a top 10 pick this year's draft. So, I mean, you know, we're looking forward for Tanner Boyles coming in and fitting right in and having that same impact as well.
He's going to be in. Pierce Quick's going to be in. So many new names that we're going to enjoy watching as the season begins. So wrapping it up, Rashad Johnson, obviously, as everybody tells you, you never know how your recruiting season is until a few years down the road.
For sure.
Taking a look at the numbers and all the notes and all the biographical information, Nick Saban did the job again.
He definitely did. I mean, he did exactly what we needed to do. I mean, we wanted to, you know, fill some guys up front on the offense and defensive line, was able to grab some really good players there. And, you know, overall, just a great class in the secondary and a few more guys on offense as well. I mean, but, you know, everybody wants to put a tag on it. One, who's two, you know, it doesn't matter. Nick Saban does it again. You know, we're at the top tier each and every year, and I'm looking forward to, you know, watching these guys get on the field and become a part of, you know, this Crimson Tide.
Well, folks, hope you enjoyed our coverage of National Signing Day 2019 alongside Rashad Johnson and our entire crew. I'm Eli Gold. Our program today brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Alabama. Don't forget, 5 o'clock Eastern, 4 o'clock Central, Nick Saban's press conference. You can see it and much more coverage over at RollTide.com. Until we talk next, thanks so much for joining us. Have a great day and roll tide, everybody.